Hello, everyone. My name is George Phillip. I am a social studies teacher, and I just wanted to show some really great quick search tips that you can use in your classroom to help making searching in Google a lot easier. As I said, I'm a social studies teacher, but we cover a lot of broad topics. And so the area that we're going to start with, we're just going to do a simple search term, and we'll focus on the American Revolution. All right. As we notice here, there are a couple things. One, we have over 36 million hits in less than half a second. Okay, that's a lot. If we're talking about, a project for our students, most of them are probably going to hit within the the top five spots. So if we look here, Wikipedia are the top two, history.com and the AmericanRevolution.org. Pretty some good sites, some not so good sites. Um, I'm a firm believer in Wikipedia is a great place to start, but that's not where I want my students to find out most of their information. So we can do a couple things because the way Google's looking at this is it's looking for the terms American Revolution and it's looking for the term American and Revolution. So one of the operators that exists within Google is if you put something in quotes, then it's going to look for just those words. So if we put it in quotes, we've narrowed it down in half already, almost. So down to 15.9 million. So, that will make it probably more relevant for me. But being a social studies teacher, I want to make sure that my students are finding reliable sources. So another operator that Google has is this term called cite colon. And you can type in a bunch of different things. So I want my students, let's say I want my students to find resources from universities, something that university have published. Okay, so the extension for university is edu. So if I did cite colon edu, now all of a sudden I'm down to, 267,000 hits from that original 30 plus million hits that I had. And so what this has done is I'm telling Google that I'm looking only for the phrase American Revolution, and I'm only looking for articles based out of colleges or universities. So we can see here, wisconsin.edu, msu.edu, digitalhistory.ua. Okay, so all of these websites here are going to be from American universities. All right, so maybe I want to find out, so instead of .edu, I do .gov. All right, so roughly the same, but these are all, based from the government, okay? And then another thing we do, since I teach, like I said, middle school, some of my kids aren't really that great of readers. So if I go in here into search tools, okay, and I go to all results, I can select on reading level. Okay, so then what it does is it gives me a couple different things. We have a basic reading level, which is roughly a middle school reading level. You have intermediate, which is like your high school, and then advanced, which is like your college. So if you have some students who, let's say that, sixth grader and they read it at a high school level, so you could tell them to come here and get some intermediate levels. But my kids are they're younger, so they read mainly at a basic level. So then if I click on search tools here, now I'm down to under 1,000, under 2,000 hits for that. So if I do this so let's go back to our original one of edu, and 3,000 hits, which is great because then this I know my students can read. So and you can alter this as well. Well, let's say that I want to know about the American Revolution and I want to know what the United Kingdom says about it. Okay, so I do cite UK because that's the extension for the United Kingdom. All right, 13,000. But all of these are going to be based out of the United Kingdom. So this is going to be from the English point of view. So if I'm doing a comparison contrast paper, my students should be looking at information that the Americans have posted about the American Revolution and stuff that the British have posted about the American Revolution, so they can get both sides of the stories. So these are just some tips and tricks that I use with my students to make sure that they are able to help narrow down their search so that they can search more efficiently and more quickly within Google, so that they can find the information that's relevant to them. Thanks for watching.